Hello everybody, welcome to my first video. Now it's not the best time to be doing a first video because I feel absolutely shattered. I'm deep into this deficit and I feel like absolute crap. Really tired. I got coffee to try and help me along the way, but coffee doesn't really do much anymore, sadly. But anyway, this video is about why should you cut before you bulk? Because people want to always bulk and yeah, I'm going to eat big and get big. Problem is, the main reasons why you can't do that, if you're starting from a high body fat and you want to bulk, insulin sensitivity. Now, as you get fatter and fatter, you become more insulin resistant, and that basically means that the excess calories that you're going to consume are going to be most likely stored as fat instead of going anywhere else because you're already quite fat. So what you need to do is lean out, and as you start getting leaner and leaner, you become more insulin sensitive, aka the opposite of insulin resistant. So that basically starts meaning that those nutrients, those extra calories, are going to more likely go to muscle growth rather than fat storage. Now don't get me wrong, obviously you do still gain a bit of fat when you bulk, and if you keep pushing it you will get fatter and fatter, but you will gain muscle as well. So this is why you get as lean as you possibly can. I think the guidelines are around 12 to 15%. I mean, roughly you want to go on the lower end. I mean, I'm not reading from a fucking science journal. I don't do that. I know it's just stuff that I've picked up along the way and learned, and yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. But it is true, you do need to be lean before you can actually do good bulk and acquire good muscle tissue. This is why I'm putting myself through this shit right now. It's torturous. I've lost over 13 kilos in about 4 months, and yeah, I feel like shit, quite frankly. But this is the part of the game, and I want to do a good first bulk and gain some really good muscle tissue. And in order to do that, I need to be insulin sensitive and lean. And here's the other reason why you need to be lean before you bulk, is your cardiovascular system. So if you're fatter, you're going to be being heavier. It's going to be harder on your cardiovascular system. You're going to be gassed out more. So just think, if you're pushing heavy weights, trying to build muscle, and you're unfit, what's going to gas out first, your muscles or your heart? You're going to get out of breath. You're not going to be able to complete the set because you're unfit. So as you get leaner and lighter, you become more fitter, and then you can push more reps and just feel better after each workout. Obviously doing cardio as well will increase that, but that's a story for another video. So yeah, is it cutting my ears out? No, it's not. Alright, well yeah, so being obviously lighter is going to help you be able to do more reps and more, spending more time in the gym. And another one is, like I touched on earlier, when you bulk you do gain fat. Now obviously you can minimize the surplus and try and gain as little as possible, but then you do risk not gaining as much muscle as you could as well. So realistically, you want to get as lean as possible. Now, I haven't actually got my body fat measured, but I've used various sources like ChatGPT, I've used calipers, and as of yesterday, it thinks I'm around 7 to 9%. And people are noticing my face is starting to look very sucked in. So, yeah. So, what was I saying? Anyway, it was about, see, this is the cut, deep into the cut. I literally can't even remember what I was saying. It was about, yeah, growing, having room to grow. So, excuse me. So when you are as lean as possible, you know you're going to gain body fat during your bulk. So say you want to bulk till about 15%, or just as your abs start fading, or maybe a little bit past that, then the leaner you start, the longer you have to bulk, gain that good quality tissue, and then your abs start disappearing, and then you dial it back, go onto a cut, get the abs out again, get as lean as possible again, maintain it for a little bit, and then go into a bulk again. Whereas if you start on the higher side, and if you just, so say if you start on like 15% already, or even you're doing exactly the opposite of this video and you're starting at 20% doing a bulk, when are you going to finish that bulk? You're going to finish that bulk at 25% body fat, 30% body fat. Now your cut is going to take you even longer. It's going to take ages. Say you've literally bulked to 30%, 35% body fat, and now you're thinking, all right, I want fucking abs for summer. You're not going to have abs for summer. It's going to take you a long time. So that is the reality of things. You want to be as lean as possible, bulk as long as you can until your abs start fading and you start getting a little bit fluffy, and then it's going to take you less time to get lean again, because for one, you've got the extra muscle, which means you're going to have a slightly increased metabolism, and two, you haven't got as much fat to trim off as you did if you were, say, like 25% body fat. So yeah, be lean, bulk, don't get too fat, do a good surplus, not fucking stupid, 500 calories, and then get nice and lean again. If you're enhanced, I wouldn't say it really changes much. I mean, obviously there's some compounds that allows you to build muscle in like a fucking like a deficit, and not, you know, obviously can change your like insulin sensitivity and stuff, but again, you just don't want to be too fat, because especially if you're on gear as well, you're going to be converting more to estrogen, which you definitely don't want, because then you're going to have to be taking more fucking AIs, and it's just not good. I mean, the only exception that slightly folds into this is, say if you're an untrained individual and you want to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, which is technically not bulking, so it's not actually relevant to this video, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're untrained and you are overweight and you're just starting to go to the gym, I think it's about a year they class it as until you're classed as now trained. You can lose fat and build muscle at the same time. I've done it myself. I started off very fat, and all of this muscle that I've got on my frame, I built from cutting. And the other, you know, I guess I've never actually done a proper bulk. So basically I've been cutting, and then I would just eat shit for like, you know, either a few days, sometimes like on a holiday, and then try to get back to a deficit, and then fuck it up at the weekend and blow a whole week's deficit. Shit control, you know, social events and stuff like that. You know, social pressures, food is fucking everywhere. It's very hard to stay on a deficit and be so resilient when everything's a temptation. But hey, some people are stronger than others, and you know, fair play. But that's what I've been doing. So that's literally how I've built my physique. Is I've never done a bulk, but I started off very fat, got into training, built the muscle up, and yeah, just fucking fucked up a lot of years, wasted a lot of years. I could be a lot better if I just cut properly and then did a good bulk, slowish, 500 calorie surplus bulk, and yeah, made sure that my body was insulin sensitive. But I didn't until now. So here we are. So that is why, guys, you need to cut first, bulk later. I know it's not what you want to hear, but anyway, if you're already fat and you haven't been training, then just go on a deficit. You can still build muscle. And you know, there's some kind of evidence that you can build muscle on a deficit anyway. So you know, it's probably unlikely. I'm not going to tell you it as gospel, but just cut, guys, and keep training. The end. Cheers.